This is Class A Carry. Today I'll be continuing the dismantling and gutting of my RV. Hopefully today I'll accomplish removing the furnace, the rest of the kitchen cabinets and lines, and maybe I'll start on removing the couch. Stay tuned. In order to remove the furnace, the first thing I'm going to do is disconnect all things connected to the furnace. Go ahead and take off the air vent. There's an electrical connector on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, we have where the propane line is running through the furnace. And we will check that out. I have loosened the sealing gasket here on the propane pipe. Move that down. And then if we peek inside the hole, you can see there is a propane fitting, a nut that we can loosen to disconnect the propane. That's what we'll do next. In order to loosen the propane connection, I need to go outside of my RV and access the furnace compartment, which is right here. That is down, and that came down with it. Just to double check, I want to make sure everything is off. That is indeed in the off position. I turned off propane to the RV months ago and made sure the lines were bled. Over on this side, you can see this attached to a pipe that goes into the furnace. And if you look closely, right there, there is a nut that we can loosen by hand and then take this out. There's also a washer. Both removed. Now, this piece should come out. I'm going to slowly wiggle it. Now it's coming. And there it is. Now, you can go back to this area, zoom in, right there. That is the connection we need to loosen to take off the propane connection. While I'm back here in the furnace access compartment, I decided to loosen up some connections. Specifically, it looks like spade terminal connections. You can see they fit in various spots. Went ahead and I pulled out a whole bunch of them. That would fit into there. Gently wiggled it free. I pulled out this big one from the edge of the circuit board, and now the entire circuit board comes out. I'll take a look at that later. So I've pretty much pulled apart the connections that I can access at this point. And I also started loosening screws at various locations that I see I can loosen. Prepping to take it all out. Now it's time to loosen the propane fitting. 13/16 wrench. Lefty loosey. I now have the propane fitting sufficiently loose that when I pull on the other end, it will come off. Back inside the RV, now we're back to the propane fitting. There we go. Comes out nice and easy. There, propane fitting is out. In order to remove the furnace, I'm having trouble accessing other points where the furnace is attached to the RV. So I'm going to move on down and start removing the base of what was the sink. And hopefully removing that will open up some room so I can continue to get the furnace out. So when I move up this baseboard here that was under the sink, you can tell that it is enclosed around the sink piping. So I can either cut the baseboard or I can go ahead and cut the piping. I think I'm going to cut the piping. Sink piping is gone. Let's take up the base. There's the area underneath the sink board. Yeah, it looks like the mice have enjoyed living in here over the years. I'll get that cleaned up. Sink piping is gone. Let's take up the base. There's the area underneath the sink board. Yeah, it looks like the mice have enjoyed living in here over the years. I'll get that cleaned up. That looks much, much better. It's always good when you can to apply the concept clean as you go. I'm going to now remove the vent. There's some hardware down there holding the clamp tight around it. Loosening it. Gets to a point where you can undo it by hand. tight again. Use your tools. And there we go. This vent is out. Take a close look down the vent from where I pulled out the venting. Mice have also been able to get down in there as well. Clear evidence. How can they get down there? Here's the vent I just took out. Take a look at that. It's a nice little hole in it. Doesn't look to be very big, but mice do not need very big holes to squeeze through. They can squeeze in the tiniest of holes. I'm told the size of a dime. So that's how our friends, the mice, get into the deep, dark places of your RV. Since I'm redoing all of my coach's pipes, I'm going to go ahead and cut these two, just so I can get these two ends out of the way. Now that we've come to the ends of the major electrical runs, they end right here. They go under and behind the furnace and come out to here. I should be able to pull all of those wires out this way and make more room over there. Now, with all the wires and cabling for the electrical system in the coach, it's kind of a big mess. We'll get to that later. And over here, underneath what used to be the sink, it's all clear. Now, can work my way, getting the little odd and end framing, and then we'll get that end. To remove these little strips that are lining the edge, need to undo all these Phillips screws. That piece should come up, followed by this piece. I have finished the tear down of all the kitchen structure. It is all nice and wide open. Going from the floor up to the wall, let's tear off some of this old wallpaper and see how much the water has damaged it. That's pretty damp, and it's been that way for a very long time. That just peeled right off. Yeah, it didn't have to take much to pull this off. Still damp to the touch. Especially wet at the bottom, probably or it accumulated and stayed. There definitely was a very, very bad water leak issue here in this RV's kitchen. Looking at how it damaged the structural beams, and just the walls, they're still damp. You know, we are here to fix that. Here's what I just pulled off what was the former kitchen wall. Most of this just peeled right off with very little effort. Now you can see damage starts right below the window. Gets worse as it goes down. Same over here. As you go up farther, it doesn't look damaged or wet. And then the more you head towards the couch there, the more it dries out. So this specific water damage probably didn't reach at least the upper part of the couch there. Of course, we'll find out later. However, as you go down, it's pretty wet down there. So that will be more to investigate. I'm going to have to call it a video because I am allergic to mold. And a lot of times just the smell of damp materials starts to make me sick, and I am heading that way. So we're going to call it a video today. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, please hit the thumbs up, please subscribe, and continue watching my journey to rehab my old motorhome. Thank you.